Imagine a world where you open a family photo album and half the people in it are invisible. Yeah, weird, right? Well, that's exactly what scientists are finding out about human history. Turns out your great-great-great-great-grand-uncle might have been a ghost. No, not the spooky kind, an entire human population that vanished without leaving a forwarding address. In the vast saga of human evolution, we thought we knew who the major players were. Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, Denisovans, boom, sorted. But thanks to fancy new DNA tech and a bit of cosmic-level confusion, we now know there were others. Whole populations that left behind zero bones, but sneakily left their fingerprints in our DNA. It was a time of stone tools, endless migrations, and more cross-cultural mingling than a music festival. And folks, it got messy, real messy. Welcome to Infinitia Verity, where we take history, science, and a dash of crazy, toss them in a blender and serve it up cartoon style. Buckle up, because today we're hunting the ghost populations, ancient humans we haven't even discovered yet.
Ready, let's dive in!
Our story begins around 200,000 to 30,000 years ago, a time when the Earth wasn't exactly handing out welcome to civilization kits. No cities, no Wi-Fi, just endless forests, deserts, ice sheets, and a lot of very confused primates trying not to die. Homo sapiens were just emerging in Africa, perfecting the art of fire good, saber-tooth bad. Meanwhile, Neanderthals were chilling, literally, in Ice Age Europe, and Denisovans were vibing somewhere in Asia. Because, and here's where it gets spooky, DNA evidence shows there were other ancient humans out there, entire groups we didn't know about until recently. No bones, no artifacts, no cave paintings, just microscopic genetic breadcrumbs hiding inside modern people's DNA. Scientists call these missing groups ghost populations. Why? Because they're like guests at a party who left before you showed up. No selfies, no goodbyes, just weird fingerprints on the buffet table. And here's a fun fact. Some modern African populations have up to 19% of their DNA coming from these ghost groups. That's like finding out 1/5 of your family tree is mystery people. Enter modern geneticists. Who were they? Just the brilliant nerds who looked at human genomes and said, wait a second, who's that guy? In 2010, when researchers sequenced the Neanderthal genome, they found strange traces that didn't match Neanderthals or modern humans. Then the Denisovans showed up, discovered from a pinky bone in a Siberian cave. But even after accounting for these guys, something was still missing. It's like baking a cake, following the recipe exactly, and then tasting peanut butter. Something or someone extra had been in the mix. Scientists soon realized we weren't just dealing with a few lost cousins. We might have been part of a whole family reunion nobody remembered inviting. And that's when things got really, really interesting. As centuries rolled by, things were getting more tangled than a set of ancient Christmas lights. Early humans weren't just isolated groups living quietly. They were moving, exploring, meeting, and, let's be honest, mixing it up. Picture humanity like a prehistoric soap opera. Secret rendezvous, alliances, betrayals, and DNA swaps. It started when Homo sapiens left Africa around 60,000 years ago. They bumped into Neanderthals in Europe and Asia. And let's just say things got cozy. Modern non-African humans today carry about 1 to 2% Neanderthal DNA because of it. Yeah, some of your ancestors literally Netflix and chilled with Neanderthals. Then they met Denisovans. Surprise! Another branch of ancient humans nobody knew about until a Siberian pinky finger showed up like a ghost from the past. And Denisovans weren't shy either. Today, people in Melanesia and parts of Australia carry up to 5% Denisovan DNA. But even after factoring in these meetings, the math didn't add up. Scientists found strange genetic patterns in African genomes, patterns that couldn't be explained by any known group. It was like looking at a family tree and realizing there's a whole side you didn't know existed. One major clue came in 2020 when researchers studying Yoruba and Mende people's genomes from Nigeria and Sierra Leone detected traces of an unknown hominin. Estimates suggest these ghost ancestors split off from humans around 600,000 years ago. That's way earlier than the Neanderthals split. Imagine if your family reunion had a surprise guest and everyone was like, are you even related to us? Basically, it was like ordering a pizza for a few friends and discovering the pizza guy had a key to your house, had been living in your attic for years, and also brought his cousins. In 2020, evolutionary geneticist Sankararaman said, "There is more to the story of human origins than we ever thought." Translation, we have no idea who half these ancient people even are. Tensions were rising among scientists too. Debates broke out. Were there just a few ghost populations or dozens? How do we even know about people who left no bones behind? The biggest theory? Human history is a braided river, not a tree. Different groups met, separated, mixed and remixed like a DJ making endless remixes nobody kept track of. And that's when researchers realized ghost populations weren't the exception, they were the rule. And then it happened. In the 2010s and 2020s, thanks to better DNA technology, scientists started finding more and more signs of these ancient ghost humans, like forgotten footprints at a crime scene. First, in 2010, the Denisovan discovery blew everyone's minds. Just one pinky bone and a molar from Denisova cave in Siberia revealed an entire unknown species. No skeletons, no cities, just whispers in the genes. Then in 2017, researchers studying genomes in West Africa found up to 19% of DNA in some modern populations came from an unknown archaic ancestor. Not Neanderthal, not Denisovan. Something else? Basically, it was like opening a family photo album and finding a dozen people nobody could recognize, but who clearly had your grandma's nose. Modern humans migrate out of Africa around 60,000 years ago. They meet Neanderthals in Europe and Western Asia. Cue dramatic music. Interbreeding happens. Result? Most non-African humans today have Neanderthal ancestry. Second phase, further east, humans meet Denisovans, more interbreeding. Populations like Melanesians and Aboriginal Australians carry Denisovan genes today. Third phase. Within Africa, ancient humans were already mixing with even older ghost populations. African genetic diversity today reflects those hidden encounters, layers upon layers of human history invisible to archaeology. Imagine a group project where you're copying notes from 3 different people and 2 of them don't even go to your school anymore. Scientists looking at ancient DNA are basically detectives solving a mystery. Except the suspects are long dead, their fingerprints are smudged, and their mugshots are drawn in crayon. In 2020, evolutionary geneticist Arun Durvasula said, "We estimate that about 2 to 19% of the ancestry of present-day West Africans comes from an archaic population." Translation: turns out ancient humans were way more social than we thought. One mysterious group is sometimes called super archaics, dating back over 2 million years. Some researchers propose Homo sapiens interbred with at least 4 or more unknown ancient species. Genetic studies hint at ghost Denisovans, populations of Denisovans in Asia that were genetically different from the Siberian ones. All these discoveries show human evolution wasn't a straight line. It was a chaotic, confusing mating season meets world tour. Different human groups met, mingled, and disappeared, but their genes lived on. Some ghost populations might never leave behind a single bone, but they live on, hidden inside you, me, and almost every human walking around today. Imagine this. If your DNA were a smoothie, it would be made of bananas, strawberries, and a few mystery fruits nobody can even name anymore. So, what happened next? Well, geneticists had a field day. They realized our family tree wasn't a simple trunk, it was a wild, tangled jungle of roots crisscrossing everywhere. Immediate consequences. The simple out-of-Africa model evolved into a far richer, messier story. Researchers now believe ancient humans didn't just migrate once, they moved, mixed and remixed across continents again and again. Whole new branches, ghost populations, had to be added to our human family tree, branches made entirely from DNA evidence, not bones. This wasn't just a historical oops, it changed the way we think about evolution itself. Instead of a march of progress, human evolution was more like a chaotic rock concert, with everyone crowd surfing, swapping guitars, and forgetting who was in which band. Historians, anthropologists, and geneticists began working together asking new questions. How many ghost populations were there? Where did they live? How did they shape modern humans? And funnily enough, some modern human traits like immunity to certain diseases might actually come from these ancient ghost ancestors. Geneticist David Reich noted, "The reality of deep human history is that it is complex, multifaceted, and full of surprises. In other words, forget everything you thought you knew. It was wilder than you imagined." Without ghost populations, humanity might not have been as adaptable or as weird as we are today. So next time you forget where you put your car keys, maybe blame your inner ghost ancestor. And there you have it, the ghost populations, ancient humans who lived, loved, migrated, and mysteriously vanished, leaving only whispers in our DNA. We started with strange genetic clues, wandered through ancient deserts and lost forests, and ended up realizing that we're all walking mosaics of forgotten ancestors. Who knew that romantic misunderstandings and random campfire meetups 50,000 years ago could shape who we are today? If you enjoyed this wild ride through prehistory, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. At Infinitia Verity, we turn complex mysteries into adventures you can actually understand and have fun with. And remember, those who don't learn history are doomed to have really confusing family trees. This is Infinitia Verity, where history gets a little more animated. See